I'm Arlene Bornstein, South Florida born and raised, embracing all the rhythms of our cultures and having real conversations with people not afraid to celebrate who they are. Well, here's the place to do it. So follow me and let's go South Florida. We are here with acclaimed chef Guillermo Pernot. Tell us about Cuba Libre. Tell us about your restaurant, your baby.
What Cuba Libre is offering is modern Cuban cuisine. It's cuisine that is not 60 years old, pre-revolution. It's what's happening today in Cuba. All the ingredients that we use in here, except for a couple, like the ají amarillo and a couple of other little things, are all Cuban ingredients.
Fort Lauderdale, there's a different kind of, feel, compared to Atlantic City. There's actually a lot of Cubans in South Florida.
Correct.
Obviously more Miami-Dade County, but in Broward you have a fair share too. So was there any pressure behind that?
Yes, tons of it. People always said, why don't you open in Miami? I'm like, no, you don't take sand to the beach, right? So I said, as close as I will get, it will be Fort Lauderdale.
You're not Cuban. You
are
married to a Cubana.
Mm-hmm.
But you may know a lot more about Cuban cuisine than many of the folks who have owned Cuban restaurants here for years.
Mm-hmm.
But tell us why.
Well, my wife, Lucia, says that I've been in Cuba more time. I spent more time in Cuba than she has all her life. I'm Cuban by osmosis, basically, right? So when I got to the island, I started to discover a lot of different flavors and a lot of different techniques that they were using. So my mission was to show Americans that Cuban food was not only picadillo, rice and beans, there was a lot more than that. And that's what Cuba Libre is right now.
So when we look at your menu,
yes,
what are we going to see?
You're going to see a ropa vieja, but it's made in a different way. It's made with different types of meat. It's made with brisket, which is expensive kind of meat. And it's a different style of braising, and it takes about 5 or 6 different steps to get it where we want it to be. We're also going to see an arroz con pollo, although I love arroz con pollo with bone. This one is completely deboned, and I use basically thighs. But you're also going to see that it has a hard-boiled egg.
Ooh.
And that's so Cuban.
Yeah.
Nobody makes arroz con pollo with hard-boiled egg.
No, I've never seen in all the years, and I'm from South Florida, I've never seen an arroz con pollo with a hard-boiled egg on top.
Right.
Wow.
It's traditional in arroz con pollo in Cuba, and this is a tradition, to have hard-boiled eggs and a sprinkle of beer before you serve it.
And along with Pernod's expertly crafted Cuban-inspired plates, brunch is expected to launch on June 24th at Cuba Libre. On the menu, scratch-made Latin pastries, a Cuban take on chicken and waffles, and a Cubano pork fried rice. And you can wash it all down with a bottomless mojito pitcher and some tropical mimosas.
And that's the whole thing. You've been to Cuba even, a year ago? Was it 2 years ago?
When the pandemic started, was in March. That was my last trip.
Right. And since then, you've been almost once a year prior to those years.
Twice a year.
Twice a year. So you're putting on the plate what you see Cubans are doing there right now.
That's right.
Right? And how often are you seeing those traditional dishes that we see all the time in South Florida? Right? You don't. What do you see there? What do you see there?
Well, you see the whole culture, because Cuba is not just Havana. Cuba has many regions. The Cubans said, we don't eat spicy food, but those are habaneros, meaning people from Havana. When you go into the east part of the island, you have a huge Haitian influence that the food becomes spicy. Not all across the board, but some. But you also see them cooking with chocolate. You see them cooking with coconut oil, and you see them cooking with coconut milk and almonds. That's not Cuban.
No, I would never say almonds.
It is. It's on the east part of the island. You go to the west, and you start seeing tobacco, sugarcane, guarapo, and so far and so on, and a lot of more vegetables. And you go to Camagüey Central, you start seeing a little bit more pork and a little bit more beef, but very rarely.
One thing I read in the book
is what is a Cuban chef? And I loved that. Who is the Cuban chef?
Cuban Chef are all the chefs that they're opening now paladares throughout the island.
And for someone who might not know what paladares means.
The paladar is a small restaurant that originated years ago in somebody's house.
I love this. Who is the book he wrote? Who is the Cuban chef? The Cuban chef doesn't bring a shopping list or a pre-planned menu, only an open mind.
That's right, because when you go to the market, you never know what you're not going to find. And you really have to be creative.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of the paladares, the menus are written in chalkboards.
It takes like today's special to a whole other level.
Exactly.
Order the special.
And this was fascinating because they have made things out of nothing.
Yeah.
And that's what because Cuban, that's the essence of Cuban. That they are so willing to do something right and do it no matter what it takes.
And if you want to learn more about our entertainment and dining coverage, just go to our Facebook page, Let's Eat South Florida. You can also check out our previous Let's Go South Florida shows by going to sunsentinel.com/let's go. I'm Arlene Bornstein. See you next week.